Eric, I'm in too emotionally fragile a state for you to joke with me right now.
Hey, welcome to me talking to you.
Why are you friends with me then? If I make you feel like this, this is bad. This is an abusive relationship, Eric. I'm telling you to get out.
Hello, gamers. See, I'm keeping the energy down because Jasper and I are so tired.
So nice. That's so nice.
We're so tired. We're just being really mellow right here, just right here.
Give us 5 minutes. We'll be back on our bullshit. It's fine.
Oh, we will. This is the slow leading in. Welcome to Games and Feelings, an advice show about playing games, being human, and dealing with the fact that those games will involve other humans, sometimes in an atrium in San Francisco at a hotel, which is near the airport, which is pretty close to San Francisco, but it's not exactly San Francisco. I'm your host and question keeper, Eric Silver, and the thing that I do when I'm traveling, which feels like someone's pranking me with a terrible minigame, is figuring out new showers.
Interesting. Fun. Yeah, okay.
The shower that I had in my hotel in San Francisco was so complicated, it neither went out or in, so I had no idea how to turn it on and off. I felt like I was just spamming buttons trying to make the water come on, and then of course it turned all the way in 360 degrees, which then did change the temperature, but it didn't stop anywhere. It just kind of flipped all the way around.
Point? Like it didn't like get tight. You know what I mean? Like normally, if it does like a spin, it's like it'll get to a point where it stops, right? But
right.
It just didn't.
It just didn't, and it had something to do with the Z-axis, which I could not figure out. So it felt like I was in an RPG and just kind of like spamming buttons until like the door unlocked in the way that
That's very funny. I'm just imagining NPC Eric kind of just bumping into walls and kind of trying to like, you're just desperately trying to position NPC Eric into like the right place to hit the triangle button to do the, do you know what I mean? That's very entertaining for me. Just imagining this. Me controlling NPC Eric as like an overview of the hotel. Just come on, just get in the shower. Please get in the shower. Please. Why is it so fiddly?
No, don't use your alt special. No, shit. I needed to save that.
Stop shouting, Jason.
Yeah,
please.
I'm saying the same line over and over and over again. Oh, I didn't see you there. Oh, I didn't see you there. Oh, I didn't see you there.
That and, I wish I could have a shower. Oh, I wish I could have a shower.
And I'm naked. I'm also naked during this whole thing. Jasper Cartwright, my good bruv who I saw in person and hugged. What is something that you do while traveling that feels like a terrible minigame that has cursed you?
Okay, well, I've actually got an example of a terrible minigame that curses everyone else, and then I've got an example of a terrible minigame that feels like it's pranking me. So the one that's pranks everyone else, which I love, is that me and my wife, when we flew out to LA this time, we were sat in those extra legroom seats. My wife's very pregnant, so we were like, we'll splash out. We'll get the extra legroom seats, and so we're by the exit door, which means you can see the toilet door, and watching people consistently come up and not figure out how to open a toilet door is genuinely one of the funniest experiences you can, like, it's a treat. It's a real treat. Like we would just sit and watch our movie for like half an hour, and then someone else would come up and try and open the door, and they'd be like hitting the middle, and they'd be pressing buttons that clearly had nothing to do with the opening mechanism, and it was just really, really, really entertaining. And it just so consistently that people would come up and do the same things, and there was a bit that was like hanging off of the door, and people kind of kept on trying to pick that up and like plug it back in because they thought that had something to do with it. It was just incredible. Like people, it really didn't get it.
I have a question. What was the correct way to open the bathroom door? Because I feel like on an airplane, there's only one way, which is like take the little thing and then slide it to the right, and then it opens, and you have to read to see if it's open or locked or unlocked.
Most of the ones that I interact with, you just push the middle of the door, but like you have to kind of get it a firm, because if you like tap it, it's not gonna like do, like people kind of like slap the middle of the door thinking that that's just gonna like magically allow more of this. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's like no, just like a firm push in the middle of the door, and the door will fold on itself and allow you in. It's pretty easy, honestly. People really didn't get it. It's very fun. I think the shower one is a good call. Like a confusing shower often perplexes me. I think mine is usually hunting for outlets by the bed.
Ooh, good
Like,
one.
I can never for the life of me understand why hotels refuse to put outlets, like, just either side of the headboard. It's like, we have them in our houses, we all know that we need them. I'm assuming there's some weird, like, health and safety fire risk thing where they're like, let's not encourage people to have their, like, laptops and phones in bed. I don't know.
And plug it in overnight.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but it's so fucking irritating to the point where I've now started packing extension cables because I'm like, no, I will sit in bed and on my laptop, like, and I will not let this hotel best me.
Yeah.
But it does feel like a stupid minigame. Or I'm like moving bookcases, like, and cabinets out of the way to get to the ultra dusty, outlet that's like tucked behind, that's got like the alarm clock like wired into it or whatever,
Sure. So you can't steal the alarm clock. The one thing you want from a hotel, the alarm clock.
The alarm clock. Yeah, I have so many alarm clocks now. It's actually.
Hey, here's a hack. You can just go down to the front desk and say, "Oops, I lost my alarm clock," because they just have a lost and found full of alarm clocks.
They got so many. They got so many down there. So yeah, I think that's probably mine. Looking for outlets.
Wait, so in your room, you had that stack of like plugs?
Yeah.
Did you bring that, or was that in the hotel?
No. That was the hotel.
Okay, so that's wild that they gave you that, but it was across the room.
So truly across the room. It was like on the desk over this other side. Which I guess, if you're a normal person who gets up and works from a desk, maybe that's really helpful. But for me, who's a little gremlin that refuses to do any work at a desk and wants to be on like a comfy chair or a bed, then it's annoying. And how else am I going to watch TV in bed? Because I'm not plugging my HDMI into the TV, because that's just way too much effort and it's not 2007. So, like, I refuse.
I feel like that's how people warned you were going to get viruses. It's like, if you plug your computer into a television you don't know, that's how you're going to get a virus.
Yep, 100%. Let's go download some malware onto my PC. And then I'm going to get that ad. Did you get that ad over in America where it's like, and it's like, you wouldn't steal, like, a movie from a store, And then it's like, so why would you pirate a movie online or whatever? And it was like, it's like the most 2000s video ever, and it's kind of become like slightly iconic. Like, I think they occasionally rerun it in cinemas and stuff over here, and like it gets like an audible cheer.
Oh, they rerun it
just for fun.
That's cool.
Just for fun, yeah. Like, just because it's like it was such like an iconic ad. I'll see if I can find it for you and send you this like very specific.
I know
one.
exactly what you're talking about, but I've only seen it in meme form. Like, I haven't actually seen the advert. It's always like, you wouldn't games of feelings.
Exactly. That is exactly it.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we're post Big Bad Con, and we're all sleepy boys. Also because we had so much fun there, and I thought that for the games that are giving us feelings, we could talk about Big Bad Con a little bit. Yeah. Because there was a lot of stuff that happened that I was really, really into. Because this was my first one, and because I heard about all the fun that you had last year.
I was going to say, I probably was like quite largely responsible for you being there this year because of how much I talked about it last year.
Yeah, and I kind of get it. So for those of you who don't know, Big Bad Con is kind of like a tabletop RPG game/media convention. It's a little bit different than the PAXs, which are like for video game fans, or PAX U, which is like for board game fans. It was kind of like more concentrated. It almost felt like a little bit professional.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a like industry meet, I think, than a sort of general fan meet. There are people that just like are fans of board games and TTRPGs, but like at least 70 to 80% of the people there are like people who like game designers, artists, producers, whatever. Like they're people that are doing the stuff. Yeah,
and the reason why I asked you about this in the first place was that it has such a robust Big Bad Con has such a robust POC track and programming that I was like, oh, is this a POC only convention? It's like, no, they're just really good about this stuff.
No, yeah, it's so Sean Nitter is the originator of Big Bad Con, and something that he kind of really championed was like wanting Big Bad Con to be this like pipeline for POCs and minorities to, get into the space in a meaningful way. And It's genuinely incredible. Like last year when I went, and very much the same this year, you know, it was almost this like transcendent experience of going to the POC dinner. So on the Friday is the POC dinner, which is where it is a room full of exclusively people of color who have dinner, and just, you know, there's lots of speeches about kind of feeling empowered and, you know, feeling like you can take up space and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just very moving, you know, to sort of feel like you're not in, you know, you feel like you're in the majority, which is something that I think, you know, 90% of that room has never probably felt before, given that we live, you know, in like America or Europe or, you know, wherever it is. So that was really, really amazing and important. And then, so yeah, as a part of that POC dinner, they have the POC scholarships. I was a scholar last year. Basically, they like flew me out, which is, you know, from England to San Francisco is not a cheap flight. They flew me out. They put me up in a hotel room. They paid for my badge, all of that kind of thing. To attend the convention, and it was life-changing. You know, like a lot of the really good stuff that's happened to me this year, you know, like the shows I'm doing, the opportunities that I'm getting, the people that I'm talking to, kind of stemmed off of the back of, even if not directly from that convention, like that trip that I did to America was like where I met Abria for the first time. And you know, that worked out pretty well for me.
Oh yeah. What are you referring to? I don't know. I haven't been online lately,
well,
so I don't know.
I'm currently sat in Abria's spare room, so that would probably be.
Oh, okay, that's helpful. Yeah,
that's probably one of them.
Being in her house certainly helps. Yeah,
I'm being in her house. Yeah. So the scholarship program is just, it's absolutely incredible. The way that they handle it, because I think that we've, you know, Eric, you can probably attest to this, you know, in being a minority yourself, it's like, there's so many, you know, mealy-mouthed kind of like, here's a scholarship thing. And it's like, you know, I don't know, you get like $500 and you get to like attend like a half a day thing at like this corporation's like away day or whatever, you know what I mean? But you have there's nothing meaningful that kind of comes out of it. The difference with the POC track is that like we then have the POC meet and greet the next day, which obviously you were able to attend, Eric. So I'd love to kind of get your perspective on, you know, how it felt as not someone who identifies as a person of color, obviously. Like the POC meet and greet is phenomenal. Like there is never in my life have I heard of or know of an event in which you get such first-hand access to, you know, truly like you know, some of the biggest people in the room. Like Critical Role had representatives there, Dropout had representatives there, a lot of the big game designers had representatives there, Wizards had people there, things like Demiplane, Roll20, you know, like a lot of the like, you know, big companies that are kind of doing and supporting stuff in this space were in that room, and the crew works like tirelessly to like match you with people, so you get this like little speed dating card of like people that you should try and see and whatever, and it's like kind of incredible in terms of like an opportunity. I don't know of anything else that's like that. I don't know if you've had something like that before, Eric.
No, I want to talk about the POC meet and greet, which is why I brought this thing up. So yeah, I want to explain that. So I want to like set the scene because it was just so out of nowhere and something that was actually good. The thing that you said about how usually like DEI, like diversity initiatives at companies, is just like, oh yeah, go do something somewhere or meet with this one group for once a month.
Have a tutoring session with my PA. It's like, okay, so it's sure. Like I think I'm more qualified than your PA, honestly, but that's fine.
Yeah. And from the outside, obviously, I'm not denigrating it at all, but it's like a POC dinner feels like a thing that a company would put on that felt more common. But this thing, the meet and greet, was an incredibly good run event, but second, something you do not see anywhere for in terms of this track. And then third, it was really good just to have in regards to this convention at large. And I kind of like that it was like a little bit gatekeeped for POC.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like this was probably my favorite thing that I did the entire convention.
They very actively said at the beginning, hey, white people don't talk to each other tonight. Like to talk to the POCs.
Yeah. So the way that it worked is that a lot of people signed up, whether you were like an industry person looking for people or you were looking to get opportunities, and then they matched them up. Like,
and
Jasper
you can be
said.
Both as well. I was both this time.
Yeah, and I got to the only white people that could show up were people who had opportunities, which was fun, really fun for me. You know, being able to offer stuff from Multitude outside of just join the party, because it's like you want to bring jobs to other people. I think that's important. So the thing, you touched on this a little bit. So people were basically like milling about. It was in this massive tent out near the pool too. It was huge. It was like the size of a soccer pitch to me, like a middle school soccer pitch.
It was kind of like a gymnasium, like it's quite big.
And then just like being able to meet people like this. Yeah, the thing that they announced loudly and they said a lot was that like the white people couldn't talk to each other, which honestly was kind of great because it was almost like a little bit of a challenge. Being like, I need to recognize if I am gravitating towards another white person, and then I need to stop myself. Like, it sounded goofy, but it also was super helpful.
Yeah, and I think also it's a lot of it is like, okay, can we set up a space where the POCs feel comfortable enough to take up space and to talk to people? Because this is the main thing, and this is the main reason why I think they kind of, slightly tongue-in-cheek made that comment, was that what is so common with people of color is that you will feel like you are like putting people out, that you aren't like, that like, oh, they don't really want to talk to me. I don't have a lot to offer. So I'm just going to like stay here and not do this. And I think as soon as you walk into that POC meet and greet and there's like a gaggle of like 3 or 4 white people all having a conversation, there's no universe in which you feel like you're comfortable. Like, like I might now, you know what I mean? But even last year, there's no way that I'd have then walked confidently up to that group of white people and said, hello, I'm looking for opportunities. It just wouldn't have happened, and so I think it's like a lot of it is as much to do with, obviously, like you said, challenging yourself to really seek out people of color and see what they have to say. But also, I think just letting the people of color know, like, no, this is your space to do this. And the thing is, I get it as well. And for anyone who's like, I don't want any event that I go to feel like it excludes anyone. The rest of the convention is available to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The rest of the convention, all of these people are still in attendance. You can go up to any of these people at any time and talk to them. So there's no universe in which, you couldn't go up and talk to Matt Mercer or whoever. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fine.
Don't worry. Lots of white people did and took photos with him. It was all the funny thing about it. So there's the way that this hotel was shaped is that it's a big atrium kind of in the middle, and then like all the rooms were around so everyone was kind of hanging out in this one place. I saw so many photos on social media in exactly the same spot because Matt Mercer was trying to leave and then like 20 people got photos with him.
He's either trying to leave or go to the restaurant that's like, it's like, okay, I'm sat down for a meal. You truly can't bother me here. Like, a social etiquette enough to not just leave me alone in this sit-down restaurant that I'm in.
If I was in CSI, I would cobble these all together and being like, oh man, Matt Mercer never left this spot for 3 hours just from looking at all the photos together.
That's his alibi, is that he never left that spot.
Matt Mercer couldn't have done the crime. He was here for you can see the clock on the wall here and then the clock on the wall 3 hours later.
And you have to like zoom in on the clock and enhance.
Jasper, enhance. I wanna touch on something you went to about saying that like if you wanted to talk to someone you could do it at the whole rest of the convention. For this straw man we're creating of that's not fair. Here's the thing. This event was awesome. It was incredibly well run in general. I wanted to talk about this also to put a spotlight on it, but to say I got a ton out of it as well. I think that's what I was saying is like having this sort of meet and greet. Do you have opportunities? Can you offer them to me? Or having an opportunity to say, I have stuff in a different realm than just chatting and just kind of cutting through the bullshit and then doing this in this space, I thought was really great. Yeah. Because in this, throughout Big Bad Con, I realized that like a lot of people want to be talent in tabletop RPG media because like, don't we all? Yeah. But it's like, I'm actually able to talk about my job as someone who works at a podcasting company and offer it to someone else. Yeah. And I wanted that in general. It turned into other opportunities because again, it was also like, because like you said, if you were a person of color, you were allowed to be both looking and offering. And then, so some of the people I got paired up with was like mutually beneficial for me and the person who I talked to, which I thought was super nice. It almost like, it just flipped the power dynamic in imagining a world where there is not this hegemony of white people talking
Yes.
to each other in a place.
And
That's what I loved.
Yeah, and the big difference that I noticed as well when I talk to people, and I kind of got it this year because I felt like, I was in this like cool bracket this year, and I can try and talk a bit about this if it's of any interest to anyone. It's very weird being in a place where like a lot of people know who you are, and you don't know who they are, and the amount of times I felt bad because I was like, do I know you? Should I know who you are? I'm so sorry, I've forgotten your name. But what was interesting is that everyone that you meet in the POC meet and greet is like has stuff that they're looking for. It's not just that they're turning up to show face to be like, oh, look at me, I was at Big Bad Con and I was helping out all these people of color. It's like, no, I have opportunities. I'm hiring for this, or I'm looking for to build out this, or I'm looking to build out that. So it's like the difference that makes, for people who are seeking opportunities to be like, oh no, you genuinely do have something. Let's see if I fit this bracket kind of thing is huge. Because it's like, again, just the difference between like that and your sort of the corporate version of this, which is where it effectively just boils down to like, I'm here to do like you a bit of a favor and make my company look good. Like everyone I spoke to, and I was talking to, like CEOs of companies and stuff, and they were like, no, we need like X marketing, we need this, and like we're open to other opportunities, like if you have something that you want to pitch to us or whatever it is. And like again, like Eric said, you just don't get that in almost any other like environment that I've ever been into.
It was really great. It was just really fun, and that's why I wanted to spotlight it, because it's like, this isn't just some bullshit DEI stuff. This was a really, really well-run program. And I was really happy to be a part of it. It was also like people followed the rules too. Like they send out a really, really long document of like do's and don'ts and like scripts and stuff. And I was showing it to you in the airport. I'm like, Jasper, this stuff is wild. But I'm like, oh, it seems like everyone read this. I find that deeply interesting that everyone read it and everyone was kind of like on top of it. I never had conversations longer than like 5 minutes. I really thought that I was bopping around with everyone, and it seemed like no one was being like creepy, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Well, I think so. This is one of the things I did a panel actually at Big Bad Con about consent within like TTRPGs and like gaming generally. And like I think one of the big things that we said like that came out of that panel was about expectation setting, and it was about like the problem is that like a lot of conventions will have around like dudes being creepy or just like people being overbearing or not understanding boundaries and stuff like that, is because they do such kind of like middle of the road, like, hey, please don't be bad guys, kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like, no. It's like, you need to, like with Big Bad Con, they spell it out. This is inappropriate behavior. X is inappropriate behavior. Do not do this. Do not do this. They don't leave anything up to like, vague interpretation. There's nothing that's like, they'll literally be like, don't stare at people. Don't do this. Just stuff that you're like. And then what that does is it sets the expectation whereby everyone else is aware of that. So even if you do see it, it's like you're going to be so much more conscious and aware that you can call that out and you can say like, hey, like what's this person doing? That's not appropriate or whatever. So I think that just the expectations that are set are very, very clear. And I think that makes a huge difference in like the way that the whole convention feels.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with it. I think it's really interesting. And I just wanted to talk about it. Hey, it's Eric. I'm recording this in upstate New York in a different room, so it sounds different, but I brought you some apples. They're so crisp, like the air. It's crisp, like apple crisp. Jasper hates it when I describe the fall as crisp because I did it in front of him in August and I was really happy about it. But it's the only word that can describe the fall that I love. It's crisp. Welcome to the mid-roll. Hello to our newest patrons, Adam and Jess, over at patreon.com/gamesandfeelings. A lot of you have joined lately and we really, really appreciate, just all of your money and support and saying good things about the show, blah, blah, blah. Amanda and I just recorded some more Patreon-exclusive replays, and boy howdy, people are asking wild shit in advice columns. I'll tell you that much. As always, shout out to producer-level patrons Polly Burridge, Kelsey Duffy, and Peyton, who I hope have also absconded to a secret place that's kind of close, are kind of far away, and are straight chillin'. For those of you in the northern hemisphere, hopefully it's crisp, and in the southern hemisphere, you're easing your way into spring. I hope that's nice for you. It is a great day to listen to another show on the Multitude Podcast Collective, like Pale Blue Pod, an astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe, but just want to be its friend. Astrophysicist Dr. Moya McTeer and comedian Corinne Caputo demystify space one topic at a time with open eyes, open arms, and open mouths because they're laughing so much and their jaws are dropped by the majesty of space. Can you believe there have been 50 episodes of Pale Blue Pod? That's wild to me. They did a Q&A, and a lot of people from the Multitude Slack had some big questions that we wanted the two of them to answer. And just good job, folks. Good job. Thanks for making space good. New episodes every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts, or space podcasts in space. We are sponsored by Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. Our easy-to-use design tool lets you build your perfect miniature online with a fully 3D, in-depth character creator right in your web browser. Have I spent hours messing around with that browser? Yes, I have. Hero Forge offers custom minis in a variety of materials, including now color-printed options. Hero Forge also allows you to download model files for users to 3D print in their unique designs at home. And can I come to your house and use your 3D printer? I would really appreciate that. Hero Forge is constantly expanding the catalog of customizable options. They add new parts every single week and major features like new species and custom posing on a regular basis. I'm going to go over to their Twitter right now. Okay, I'm over on their Twitter. On October 11th, 24 hours before this, they have just added a new face customizer that adds an extensive system to perfect facial features like regional sliders, click and adjust fine tuning. There's a lot of like open-mouthed gasping, which I really like, and they're really making it possible for you to enjoy it and make your mini exactly the way you want it to look. Your role-playing world is colorful, now your minis can be too. Visit HeroForge.com to start designing your custom miniatures today and check out back often. New content is added every week, and they'll put it on their Twitter, and then you can read it in an ad. We are sponsored this week by Ravensburger Jigsaw Puzzles. Indulge in the timeless pleasure of assembling Ravensburger extraordinary jigsaw puzzles. This is the voice that I feel like it's like when you're doing jigsaw puzzles. Ravensburger's premium quality puzzles are crafted with meticulous attention to detail. Bringing you unparalleled puzzle-solving experiences. With a rich heritage dating back to 1883, Ravensburger puzzles have become an integral part of families' lives across generations. Share the joy of puzzling with family and friends, knowing that your cherished puzzies will stand the test of time. Enjoy a mindful moment and immerse yourself in the captivating colors, stunning imagery, and intricate designs that will delight people of all ages. Are you up to the challenge? Shop Ravensburger at your local game store or on Amazon today. And now, back to the show. We are still very sleepy, so I want to get to some questions here. Questions. Also, I feel like we got all our bants out because I saw you in person.
Oh, truly, all of the bants are gone, Eric.
So yeah, it's like we were on a sitcom and then we started dating and then all the chemistry left our performance.
The bant bar needs to recharge. We're like the second stage boss fight right now. We're about to get our second bant bar, but it's just like, it's going to take a minute. You know what I mean? We're doing the thing when we're kneeling.
Yeah, I'm going to pull out a sword.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a sword out of the ground. You're going to get like 5 arms. It's going to be sick.
That's what I mean. It's like, we're currently doing the thing when we're kneeling in the middle of the battlefield and like swirling with red and like you can't do any damage to us during this period. It's really kind of, it's really annoying for you, I'm aware. But the banter will return.
Well, it was like we were two separate enemies and they got us both down to half health. Yeah. We were Eric and Jasper, but now we're like Silver Rice. The sleepiest boy.
This isn't even our final form.
All right, let's answer some questions. Let's answer some questions, bud. You got this. You got this.
Thanks, man.
I think this is very relevant to us because we're kind of on the tail end of the big convention season. So this is from releasing convention tension. How do you unwind after a convention? I used up so much energy making friends, and I feel like I'm on a high, and then I'm going to be just my regular self back home and exhausted. Also, I'm still incredibly worried about getting COVID. Help me.
Okay, real talk. Get yourself a big bag on, first of all. They take COVID very seriously. It's still a masked event. And honestly, it was actually kind of nice. I feel like I've done a full 360 on masks where I was like, at first I was like, I don't like masks. This is annoying and it itches my face. And now I'm just like, I feel comfortable wearing a mask. And there's a dude next to me on this plane who's coughing. And I feel very happy that I have a mask on right now. I just think if you're worried about getting COVID, do yourself a favor, just wear a mask. Like no one is going to stop you from wearing a mask. And even if people around you won't do it, just do it. If that makes you feel more comfortable, I think it's just absolutely worth doing. What I would say in terms of con recovery, I would say don't fly back to LA and record several more episodes of a podcast because that's tough.
Jasper, this feels like pretty specific advice.
That does feel very specific, and I don't actually know why I gave that because that's a ridiculous situation that no one would do. So I apologize. Let me retract that.
Because even if someone found themselves in that situation, no one would do it, right? No one would really do it.
No one would actually follow through with it, and also schedule some like meetups and stuff during the day. That would be foolish. No, so I think my general advice would be just like go easy on yourself and allowing yourself to like, I always used to find this a bit. My wife like loves like once we've been somewhere during the day and stuff, she'll like want to sit for like an hour or two and just like go through all the pictures. And I always used to be like, oh, why are we doing this? It feels like a bit, we were just there, but I do think it helps, actually. I do think it kind of, going back through, reminding yourself of all the fun stuff. I think it just like adds, it's sort of like a little mini lift, It's like the crash is really hard. So just like give yourself that little mini lift, like go back through your pictures, remember little moments and little things that happened, drop someone a message and say, hey, I hope you're recovering okay. Just wanted to say I had a great time. Whatever feels like appropriate for you to, to do. But I just think if you can give yourself those little bumps, that kind of like remind you of the event and everything, might just like smooth the breakdown. And then, just take some time, relax, chill out. Like it's a lot. It's like so much stimulus, just go sit in a dark room, have a bath, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the move, right? Is like no matter when you take your flight, whether you flew out in a red eye because you wanted to get home ASAP, or you decided to drive, or you decided to give yourself some extra time just hanging out in the hotel, and then you're kind of spending one more day just on travel. You gotta give yourself 24 hours to do nothing. And I'm saying this as someone who didn't do that, and I'm very unhappy about it.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it's really good. It was really good, actually. I did exactly that. I gave myself I'm just like at home right now, just chilling in my hot tub.
No, Jasper, we established that you did something very stupid and you didn't do that.
I don't think you're talking to me. I don't think you're talking about me. I don't know who you're talking about, Eric, but it's not me.
If you can, take a day off because you probably got home on Sunday night or Monday. So take a day off of work if you can. I know that you think, no, I can't. I got to get back to my regular life immediately and I'll figure it out. I'll kick it down the road. Take the time off immediately. Even just like to sit and do nothing but drink water and drink tea with lemon and honey in it. That's all you have to do.
You know what I mean? Do like get some skincare in there because like boy, you know what I mean? Conventions, a lot of people, a lot of stuff going. Like it's just like mucky hotels. Just get some skincare in there. That's important. I think this is important though. I was just thinking about this, Eric. This is like the same thing with holidays. Everyone always, because they're like, oh, I don't use it too much on my holiday. I get that. But if you're paying all this money to go on holiday, take a day or two off when you get back. Because if you don't, you're just going to, all the relaxation, all the gentle, calming, beautiful relaxation you found is going to be instantly with when you have to get up and travel into work on Monday morning. You know what I mean?
100%.
If you make that Wednesday, and you take Monday and Tuesday to just get yourself back in the swing, do some washing, do your laundry, do a little sweep of the house, get the house nice and tidy, watch some TV, catch up on some stuff. Maybe catch up on some personal emails. Make sure your bills are taken care of. All of that stuff. I guarantee you that Wednesday morning, you're gonna feel like a new person. So don't rush back from holiday either.
That's kind of an interesting way to frame it, because it's like that is really what we just did, right? Like we went on vacation to a work. We went to a work thing for vacation.
Yes.
We got on a plane. We're staying in a hotel or an Airbnb or someone's couch or someone's spare room. And then we like did something that's different for a while, and we spent a bunch of money and we ate out a lot. And then we came home. Like it is vacation. Like that is, even though we worked through it. So taking that time, I think, is really, really important just to get your mind right. Like I like that I'm back in New York. It did take me a minute to get back. I feel like I've been away for the longest amount of time that I have since 2020. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I did miss all this stuff. And yeah, by the end of my trip, I really wanted to be home. But then I kind of had to like get back into the swing of like your home, my hometown, and like my house. So I think that stuff's really important.
I can't explain how excited I am to be home, Eric. Like the idea of my own bed, the idea of seeing my wife, the idea of cooking a meal. Oh my god! Oh, please, just let me chop up some veggies. Please.
I made eggs this morning, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude!
No.
Fuck yes!"
I can't hear that. I'm not in an emotionally stable enough place to hear that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Incredible. I want to give a special shout out to buying presents at the thing you're doing at the convention and bringing it to the people you're going to, because then it gives you an excuse to see your friends or your family, or make your like your loved one who you live with extra excited to see you because you gave them a present and be like, I was thinking about you. I think that worked. I think it worked really well. When I was in Los Angeles before San Francisco, we went to the Huntington Gardens, which is this massive, massive like garden estate, and they had a gift shop, and there was a little stuffed plant, a little stuffed succulent with a little smiley face that I got for Amanda, and I gave it to Amanda, and she was like, "Wow!" and I was like, "Yeah, there it is."
Yeah, good.
But yeah, man. It was great. I mean, that's all I really wanted was to like meet people. I feel like I feel so divorced from everything just from being online like this. So just like meeting people was nice, and then you got to come down from it. But like the whole point of you being there is to continue that relationship online. Like you just got to get back into the swing of it.
Yeah, no, it makes a huge difference. And like I was so excited to go the first time, and I was so pleasantly surprised by how good the event itself is, and I truly feel like they're going to have to bar me, I think, from going every single year. Like it will just be a yearly thing, now.
I mean, that sounds great.
Truly, it's just it's great, and also I feel like I want to go back, and if I'm in a position to, I want to like give back to the scholarship tract and help new people as they come through, because honestly, if you're like someone or a company that is like if you have any kind of like link to this industry and you want to, or you're a part of like D&I initiatives or whatever, and you're trying to make a difference, I really recommend like contacting people at Big Bad Con and seeing if there's a way that your company can donate, or they can get involved, or they can be at the these meet and greets and offer opportunities. Even in other industries, I don't think there is a better thing than this. It's great.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was I flipped to the sponsors section. I'm like, oh yeah, we could give $5,000 to this. That sounds absolutely great. Yeah, I extremely want to do it next year. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Jasper, you want to answer a regular question?
I would love to.
All right, this is from Chicken or Salmon, he, him. Since I turned 30, I have found myself attending lots of friends' weddings. That means lots of times at big tables chatting with friends, friends of friends, or complete strangers. Yep. Usually, there's a point after the main course where the energy dips and conversations lag and things get a little bit boring. What are some games or other ways one could play with one's table to keep the party atmosphere alive?
Ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, how do you get around post big dinner lull, right? Because that's what this is, right? This is everyone's full. Everyone's probably starving because, you have all the ceremony and the speeches and the whatever. And so everyone's like absolutely, ready for this meal. Everyone will sit down. How do you get around that post lull? I think there's an individual one that I can think of, which is like, see if you can find out where like everyone is from, but you're not allowed to ask the same question twice.
Ooh, that's interesting. I
Like,
haven't heard of that one.
like set yourself a little goal of like trying to get like a specific piece of information out of every single person at the table, but you're not allowed to ask it. So if I'm sat next to Eric, I say, "Hey Eric, where are you from? Like, where are you coming from today?"
Oh, I'm coming from New York.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, great, perfect, boom, one on the list. Okay, great." And then the next person, I'm like, "Hey, how long was your flight actually into town today?"
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So it's like the idea is that you just have to keep going, asking just a slightly different question of each person at the table, because that will probably also spark more conversation. At some point, because like other people will then chime in and be like, "Oh, my flight was this long," or "Oh, who's come from the furthest, guys?" Like a little general open question to everyone. I feel like that's the kind of thing that I would probably do just to keep myself entertained, because I'm very much like you, and I'm like, I can't sit in awkwardness. I hate it with a passion. So I have to try and, it usually just ends up with me clowning for the table and being like, "Hey, look how entertaining and fun this is. Yeah, this is great. Okay." So that's one thought I have. Do you have anything?
No, I like that. I'm trying to scry if this person is there by themselves or like going with a partner. I wonder, it seems like this person's running solo. So I think that this is a real opportunity to look cool and hopefully like kiss someone if that's what you're into at weddings. So I think that just like, anything that kind of just keeps conversation going. I think just asking people like about sports or games. I mean, that's the whole thing about this podcast, right? Is that like lots of people like games and stuff. So like I wouldn't even try to play a game necessarily.
Yes.
I think just like remember that people probably like the same thing you do and just aren't not even extroverted enough, but like aren't compelled enough to like keep the conversation going. People would kind of would rather just not put themselves out there and just be awkward. I think just as much the flip side as Jasper will put himself out there and look like a goof just to avoid awkwardness. But just be like, "Hey, is everyone excited for the Switch 2? Anyone heard any news about that? Who's your favorite Super Smash Brothers character?" Things like that I think is basic.
Go in with the TV rec. Most people, if you're like, "Oh, has anyone seen that like new blah blah blah," like whatever the series is, and then most of the people will probably say no, but they'll be willing to listen. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, but what's it about?" You know what I mean? Like they'll want to get the information, and then someone else will probably pop up with a TV rec, and then boom, look at this, we're all talking about TV. And I guess and also like Eric said, you'll get to a point where someone's going to say something, someone's going to let something slip, and you're going to be like, "Oh dang, you like the same sports team as me. Well, there's the rest of my evening sorted."
And later on, we're going to kiss. This is going to be so great.
We're going to kiss on the lips. Ooh, baby.
We're going to kiss here and hopefully later. Something I was thinking about was like, if you want to prepare a little bit ahead of time, you could put together a bingo card, which I think might be pretty good. I think the only thing about this is that people get too mean too fast with strangers about like clowning on your friend. And I think that just like really try to take the temperature on the bingo card to be like, "Haha, these are fun things about the couple that we know," plus like regular wedding stuff. Like, don't go too hard into the couple of being like, "Oh, Brian's gonna fucking fart in front of everyone because he's such a farter." Like, just make sure to just be like, an uncle will do something embarrassing. Not anyone's specific uncle. Just be like, "Uncle embarrassing." Maybe put that on the bingo card.
I feel like you'd have to read the vibe of the wedding, just because, like, I know, for instance, if someone had bust out bingo cards at our wedding, my wife would have been like, "Excuse me, we're providing the entertainment. Can you please put those away?"
Oh, yeah, you got to keep it secret.
I feel like there's certain weddings, though, it would have been like, absolutely would have made a ton of sense to do that.
See, Jasper, secret bingo card, though. Do not show anyone. The point is, it's big secret.
Yeah, least of all bride and groom. Do not let them see the bingo card.
Wow, it says there's a whole row devoted to how I look stupid on my special day.
Great. Why is there it says long-term bingo card and it says how long will they stay together? That doesn't feel like a good thing to have brought to this wedding, I'll be honest.
Seems like you could have kept that in your car or the hotels. Doesn't seem like
or better yet, just wherever you came from. Where did you fly in from, though, just out of interest? Did you come from far or...
Why do you want to?
If I was to go find these bingo cards in your house, what state would that be in?
Hey, why does it say Eric is gonna tell that story about Jasper where he pooped himself? That feels really specific and not like and feels like something you control. I don't think this is a very fair bingo card.
Yeah, and also just like it feels like there's like no truth into anything that you've just like that you're talking about there. Like that, just like that's never happened. So I don't know why that would be on a bingo card.
Hey, why does the middle say free space Eric sucks? That feels really rude.
It does feel really, really rude. This is good ply though.
Cheap.
Where did you source this paper from? I'm guessing from near sort of where you live.
Are you from like a paper town? Like are you from like a place that has good paper?
You from like one of those big paper towns?
Oh, so you work at a paper mill? Is it one of the big paper mills that the
you like? Is it like Canada? You got those big redwoods or whatever up there? Is that what you're? Because it just feels like really good paper. It just feels like it's solid.
See, Jasper, we talked about this. How now that you're at Big Bad Con, you're forbidden from doing like lying games like Werewolf, and I think that we've established that it's because you don't change your inflection when you're joking.
But I don't know why I would.
But it's not about. I agree with you. I think that the best liars are convinced they don't change. But like this is why people are freaked out about you. Mm-hmm. That's not the thing we're not talking about is whether or not Jasper is a good liar. We're talking about why are people afraid of you after they play Werewolf with you.
Oh, it's because I'm psychotic and I'll do everything to win. I did get to play a very brief game of Wolves of Merca, I believe it's called. Check it out. It's basically like extreme werewolf. There's just like lots of elements to it. There's only one werewolf, but then like everyone else is some things. There's like these cultists, there's like an arsonist, there's like all these different roles, and they all like, interact with each other. And then you have like a daytime cycle and a nighttime cycle, and you have different actions and things like that you can do. It's really, really, really fun. I would highly recommend giving it a go. I literally had a very similar experience where at the end of the game, I became a ghost. So once you die, you become a ghost. But just because you become a ghost doesn't mean that you can't win the game or that you can't carry on playing. And
I love that.
I formed a little sort of a tri-alliance of ghosts. I said, we've all got powers. This is my power. What's your powers? We went around, got the powers. Okay, great. Like I was like, look, listen, I think there's a world in which we can win. We can all three of us win this game. Let's just all tell each other what our win conditions are. And so we went round and everyone told me their win conditions and I lied about my win condition.
You motherfucker, are you kidding me? This is why you're forbidden. To strangers? Were you playing with strangers?
No, but wait, here's the kicker. I told the ghost with the power to kill people, my win condition, which is that I needed a certain person to die before the end of the game. Oh no, sorry, I needed a certain person to stay alive. And then on the final round, that ghost looked me in the eye and kills that person. And I did a whole crestfallen, how could you, you've betrayed me. And then at the end of the game, we were going around seeing who'd won. And I walked calmly up to this person and I said, I knew you would betray me. But it's fine because I won. And I lied about my win condition. And maybe that was psychotic and maybe they have trust issues because they did their betrayal out in the open like it's a fun little joke. I didn't. I snuck around the back, I drove the knife in, and I pushed him off the side of the cliff.
See, Jasper, first of all, was this with strangers? Did they know you?
I've never met this man before in my life.
Okay, great. So that's the first question. Once again, this is the crux of the issue. One, that's awesome. And two, you're very good at this. But three, this is psychotic behavior. Like they're happening at the same time. You did a good job, but also you're a psycho.
It's I think what it is, it's like combining sports competitiveness with like elite level drama school training.
No, I know. I'm just saying that like this is kind of the crux of one of our imagine this is an advice question. It's like I want to win, but I'm worried my girlfriend's family will think I'm crazy. What should I do? Like it's just the trade-off, you know what I mean? It's a tough thing to balance.
Yeah, I think it's just a very easy decision to make though.
Do win above all.
If your girlfriend's family's weak enough, you know what I mean, to not respond to that, then you didn't need them in the first place. Go get yourself a new life partner, my guy.
All right, I'm cutting this off. We're done. Jasper is putting himself too much in a hole. Cut. Mischa, cut the tape. Cut the tape. Cut the tape.
I don't see a hole. I just see an empty pit filled with the bodies of my enemies, Eric.
Mischa, cut the tape. Cut the tape. Games and Feelings is produced by Eric Silver and edited and mixed by Mischa Stanton. The theme music is Return to French Toast Castle by Jeff Bryce, and the art was created by Jessica Boyd. Find transcripts for this episode and all episodes at our website, gamesandfeelings.com. Until next time, press X to enjoy the podcast.